I'm gonna draw your mom.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. The Claressa Shields fans are none too pleased that Amanda Serrano was chosen by Time magazine, not Claressa, as one of the 100 most influential athletes across all sports. To that, a loser, a wannabe who goes by the name Grand Regent Peace said, Amanda Serrano is such a fake ass, lying ass broad. This woman hates the ground Claressa Shields walks on.
Stop the cap.
In 2021, Claressa Shields openly tweeted that she was a fan and that they can share the GWOAT title, but she doesn't believe no fighter is better than her. Y'all bitches are mad that Claressa Shields is gatekeeping being the best. Yeah, that's bullshit. Amanda's not the one that's mad, Claressa is. Whenever somebody suggests that Claressa is not the best and it's somebody else, whether it's Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano, it's Claressa Shields that gets mad. Not them. Grand Regent continued, and if your credibility for being the GWOAT is coming from Jake fucking Paul, you've got more work to do in boxing. Well, where did Claressa's credibility for being the GWOAT come from? Because she up and decided to start calling herself that before anybody else did, and it can't be based on the barren and empty weight classes that she campaigns in, or the myriad of vacant titles she's won. Is that what's supposed to make her the greatest woman of all time, fighting for belts that nobody was holding? Grand Regent continued, Amanda Serrano is not the highest paid female fighter. Once again, another false narrative they're trying to push since she can't be the best female fighter. Oh, really? But she only has the highest paid single fight, the one on Netflix with Katie Taylor, which she lost, by the way. Claressa Shields is the highest paid female fighter per fight. Based on what? Based on the quote-unquote win records deal? That's the context they're leaving out. Amanda Serrano has been fighting professionally for 16 years, 8 years before Claressa Shields' professional debut. Has she made overall in her career? Possibly. Possibly. So if she's possibly made more than Claressa, what the fuck are you moaning about? But Amanda Serrano made money through pay-per-view splits with MVP, and Claressa making bank through guaranteed purses. Pay-per-view splits? How many times has Amanda boxed on a pay-per-view show? And what difference would that make? Money is money. Not to mention her new $8 million deal through Salida Promotions, so stop with the cap about Amanda being the highest paid, because she's not. Hey, if she's not, tell me, how many fights will it take Claressa Shields in her new deal to make what Amanda Serrano made from just one fight on just one night? Because near as I can tell, Claressa Shields' quote-unquote new deal is said to be worth an estimated $8 million across 2 years and 4 fights. $8 million? Where Amanda Serrano made $9 million. $9 million for just one fight. One of those Katie Taylor fights on Netflix. That's not even counting what she made for the other. You know, it's going to take Claressa about a year and a half and maybe 3-4 fights before she can make what Amanda already made from one fight on one night. So how is Amanda not the highest paid woman boxer? Amanda Serrano, who is often featured in commercial spots on her native island of Puerto Rico, she's got sponsors and endorsements, other arms of revenue, not just her fight purse. Does Claressa have any of that going on? No. Who the fuck would want Claressa Shields to be the face of their brand? What major corporation wants to do business with her? What major corporation has that you want to perpetuate this idea Shields is making more than Serrano? What, because of her Win Records deal? Who the fuck is Win Records? What, her boyfriend and his buddies? I don't even believe Claressa Shields is making $2 million per fight because of who facilitated the deal. Her boyfriend facilitated the deal. I never heard of these Win Records people up until they inked that deal, and I don't know of any other major acts or athletes they're supposed to be promoting. Near as I can tell, she re-signed to her same old promoter from always, Dimitri Salida, and Win Records tagged along for the ride. I don't think for a second she's actually getting $2 million per fight. I think she would like people to believe that, so that if they ever want to use her to fight one of their fighters, they've got to kick out $2 million, a $2 million minimum, on the premise that that's what Win Records is giving her. Except I don't think they're giving her that. Neither Claressa Shields or her supporters can stomach the fact that she's not the most influential, hasn't had the biggest impact in the sport. No, she's not the highest paid fighter. If you want to believe she's the best, and she believes she's the best, that's subjective. You can believe that if you want to, and she can too, and other people can believe whatever they believe. What doesn't boil down to belief is that Amanda Serrano makes many times more money than Clarissa does, and that's not new either. It's been that way for a few years now. 4 or 5, by my count, where you guys are stuck on what Clarissa Shields wants to call herself. Amanda Serrano was never stuck on nicknames. She ain't even the one that called herself the GWOAT. Other people called her that. So Clarissa Shields got mad.
Why are you mad?
Because Time magazine recognized Amanda Serrano and not you. Because Amanda's got better things to do and better things to think about than arguing about nicknames. That was never her focus. Her focus was increasing fighter pay, which she has. Many times over what you make, without the unbeaten record, without as many vacant titles. She gets more than Clarissa, and Clarissa hates it. Clarissa ain't the one that's boxed on Netflix, not even once. What fight is Clarissa Shields gonna have that's gonna get her in the neighborhood of $9 million? Not the Lauren Price fight. It's the fight that she's negotiating now, and she ain't gonna get that for Lauren. Grand Regent Peace is little more than just a black supremacist, vicariously living through Clarissa Shields on the premise of the one thing they have in common. Their skin tone. Gotta stop beating around the bush and call a spade a spade. That's what this is really all about. Marginalizing everybody else and their contributions on the premise that you're the greatest thing smoking. And we are all indebted to you. It's your world. We just live in it. You can't stand the idea that you're not the center of attention. And even though there are other fighters out there, maybe they're not perfect. They're more beloved than you are. You're just fucking obnoxious and annoying. But he really likes you. And you would have people believe that it's because of how bigoted and prejudicial they are, when it's because of how childish and fucking stupid, how obnoxious you are. You can't hide behind that shit anymore. Going out of your way to absolve Clarissa Shields of culpability for beefs that she starts, then acting like she's the victim. She's the villain. She's the antagonist, and we don't need for you to acknowledge it because you're just as bad as her. You suck! The kings of gatekeeping stupid shit on the internet. We don't need your seal of approval. We don't need for you to agree. Due to what is a mixture of both your own vanity and fragile ego, constantly needing validation at the expense of others. People ain't gonna keep stepping on eggshells over you anymore. The only thing that Grand Regent was right about is that Clarissa Shields thinks she can gatekeep who the best is. Been doing that for years. Go ahead. It still hasn't gotten you the same kind of money that Amanda's been getting. And it's not about to. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, Levant Roach says the Stevenson fight would determine the best at 135. I believe that's provided Shakur returns to that weight class. This hasn't stopped Lamont from looking at what could be next if he becomes a 2-weight world champion August 1st at the theater at Virgin Hotels in Vegas. Roach talked about a potential clash against WBO and Ring Magazine 140-pound champion Shakur Stevenson on the latest episode of Inside the Ring, which aired Monday on DAZN. While Roach isn't looking past Zepeda, he and Stevenson believe a fight against each other is bound to happen in the future. I ran into him in Houston before the Ray Ford and O'Shaquie Foster fight. I think if Lamont and Shakur were to fight, it wouldn't be at 135, it would be at 140 because Shakur no longer holds a title there. I ran into him in Houston before the Ray Ford and O'Shaquie Foster fight, Roach said. We chopped it up, and we were just like, we've got to give the fans what they want. And he was like, in due time, it's going to happen as long as we both stay on our A game. That's going to be the fight that everybody's going to want to see. Well, why would anybody want to see that? They're going to want to see if Shakur can do a better job on Lamont Roach than, say, Gervonta Davis or Isaac Pitbull Cruz did, on the premise that the most they were able to do was draw with Lamont. If Shakur can beat him more decisively, well, that's a nice feather in his cap. Roach, 25-1 with 3 draws and 10 knockouts versus Zepeda, 33-1 with 27 knockouts, will be broadcast in the United States on both TNT and True TV, and will also be available worldwide on DAZN. IBF lightweight champion Raymond Murataya defends his title against Robson Conceição in the co-main event. Roach of Washington, D.C. is coming off back-to-back majority draws. The first came in the controversial Gervonta Davis fight for what was the WBA lightweight title in March of last year. Had referee Steve Willis ruled Davis taking a knee as a knockdown in the 9th, Roach would have won by decision.
Roach, now 30, saw his last fight end in similar disappointment against Isaac Cruz on December 6th. With how his last two fights ended, Roach said he's taking his game to another level in training so he can punish Zepeda.
I don't know if Lamont Roach actually has it in him to do that, to punish William Zepeda.
We have a great game plan, Roach said, just executing it throughout the round, staying consistent, keeping myself together on all cues at each point of every round, so that I can dominate them and eventually break them down and leave no doubts. Zepeda, 30, hasn't fought since losing a UD to Stevenson.
Zepeda's game plan is going to be a lot more simple.
The relentless southpaw from San Mateo, Atenco, Mexico, is the ring's number 3 ranked lightweight. Getting past Zepeda would set the table for multiple big fights for Roach. He also stated he's interested in a fight against Murataya, what would be a unification match, the ring's number 2 ranked lightweight, if he can get past Conceição.
Murataya is already IBF lightweight champion. Lamont Roach aspires to become WBC champion at this weight, and if he can beat William, yeah, I could go for that. Roach versus Murataya.
Ultimately, Roach believes a fight against Shakur Stevenson, a 4-weight world champion from Newark, New Jersey, is one of the best fights that can be made. Regardless of whether it takes place at lightweight or junior welter, I still think it's the best matchup at 135 for sure, especially coming off of the tank fight, Roach said. I think that me and him could have settled it for supremacy at lightweight, but whatever weight it takes place at, it's going to be the best fight.
If Lamont Roach can get that far, but I'm not completely convinced that he can. While it has been a long time since William Zepeda fought anybody, he's been out since the loss to Shakur. That guy's a punching machine, man. That guy is relentless.
Also looks to be a bit bigger than Lamont Roach, who, lest we forget, he moved up to 135, where William Zepeda was already there.
William looks to be the slightly bigger guy.
You could argue that Lamont's fight with Isaac Pitbull Cruz was a good rehearsal for a fight with William Zepeda, on the premise that Isaac is a pressure guy, and so is William. Even if William is a better grade of pressure guy,
It's a good rehearsal. It's good preparation.
though where William is a bit different to Isaac Pitbull Cruz's, his punches are not as sweeping, not as wide. His defense is actually a bit better because the hooks are shorter and tighter, and he throws that many more of them. Don't forget, William currently holds a record in the lightweight division for the most punches thrown in a lightweight contest. This guy's a machine.
He's gonna come right at Lamont Roach, head on, throwing so much, so often, Lamont Roach will be forced to respond. Forced to fight.
And I don't know that he's gonna make it past him, even with all the time off. If William Zepeda goes in there and he's back to his old form, he may wear down and wear out Lamont Roach.
To where Lamont don't make it to a Stevenson fight, a Murataya fight, and he's got to go back to the drawing board. I'm just telling you now, Roach versus Zepeda is not a foregone conclusion. It's not a foregone conclusion that Lamont wins.
It's hard to imagine that Lamont Roach can beat this guy through strength of arms when he's not known for power.
It's hard to imagine that Lamont Roach can win this fight through finesse when 36 minutes is a long time to share the ring with somebody like William. Somebody who's going to throw punches and punches, and he's not going to stop.
You've got to stop him, and I don't think Lamont Roach can. I think he can do all right in the beginning while he's still fresh, but at some point, the pace and the pressure, it'll catch up to him, and
William will take him out.
elsewhere in the world of boxing, Floyd Mayweather vs. Mike Zambidis lands on DAZN. DAZN will stream the bout, which takes place at the end of this month on the 27th in Athens, Greece. The exhibition would likely be one of, if not the final tune-up bout, before Mayweather has a potential rematch against Manny Pacquiao on Netflix in September.
A rematch that I was told late yesterday by a credible source is now off. The news just hasn't broke yet.
Mayweather has fought in numerous exhibition bouts since retiring after he stopped former two-division UFC champion Conor McGregor in 2017. Money was last in the ring in August of 2024 when he went the 8-round distance with MMA fighter John Gotti III in what was an exhibition.
Now, most of the news and headlines Floyd has been making in recent months have everything to do with his money woes. All the people that he owes money, the IRS included. The 49-year-old from Grand Rapids, Michigan, was a 5-weight world champion and was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2021. Zambidis,
kickboxing legend, 45 years old, from Porto Rafti, Greece, was 157-24 as a kickboxer. He won the lone pro boxing match of his career by UD in 2019. Now he's doing a waltz, a little run out with Floyd Mayweather, in the hopes that with their combined celebrity in their respective regions, they can generate some coin. I don't think they're going to generate much. DAZN is the distributor of this show in the United States.
This is a pay-per-view, but it comes at no additional cost if you've already subscribed to DAZN's Ultimate Tier. Yet another reason I didn't subscribe to it myself. When they say they're going to do over 12 pay-per-views in the calendar year, what kind of pay-per-views are we talking about? Shit like this? This is slop. The sales pitch for DAZN's Ultimate Tier is that they're saving you all this money on all these pay-per-views that you would have bought.
That the sum total of all the pay-per-views happening on the platform far exceeds a DAZN Ultimate Tier membership. So if you subscribe, you save money. But you only save money if you were going to buy all those pay-per-views. Some of them, like this one.
I wasn't going to buy this shit.
You can't save me money on something I wasn't going to purchase in the first place. I'm not interested in seeing Floyd Mayweather do a waltz with the likes of Mike Zambidis, or really anybody else. The man is close to 50 years old.
What about Pacquiao?
What is even more moronic is that for weeks and months now, Floyd has been rumored to be facing Manny Pacquiao in September at no additional charge on Netflix. So
how does it make sense to the consumer to kick out extra money for an exhibition match when in a few months he's going to fight in a bigger fight with a bigger name at no additional charge? Commercially, this doesn't make any sense.
And I don't expect this to generate much revenue, though, as stated, late yesterday, I was informed that the exhibition between Manny and Floyd is now off. The news just hasn't broke yet. What could have caused that to happen
could be what Jas Mathur said. Jas Mathur of Manny Pacquiao Promotions said that a part of the agreement with Floyd was that he wouldn't take on any other fights beforehand.
Why not?
Well, it could be that the people at Netflix and the event coordinators don't want Floyd jeopardizing the Pacquiao fight with any other fights beforehand, on the premise that you might get cut, you might suffer a sprain or a strain, something along those lines. But that's what Jas Mathur said, that the agreement was Floyd can't fight anybody else in the build-up.
And now you see that he's still fighting this guy. This exhibition is still on course to happen, so maybe that's what got the Pacquiao fight canceled. If it is, in fact, canceled, we'll see. I think that Floyd needs as many of these things as possible. A Mike Zambidis fight, a Pacquiao rematch, and even with all of that, he's so deep in the hole.
Those exhibitions in sequence still wouldn't be enough to pull him out.
It's been sort of a running gag here on the channel ever since news broke about Mayweather's money woes that this guy is probably going to have to keep fighting well into his 60s to maintain his lavish, luxury lifestyle and pay everybody off that he owes money, because he owes a lot of people a lot of money.
A couple of exhibitions this year won't be enough to catch up.
Without anybody stealing from him, without anybody scamming Floyd, the way this guy burns through cash, nobody has to for him to go broke.
He'll do it himself.
It could be that both Al Heyman and Jonah Rechnitz swindled Floyd Mayweather out of millions, hundreds of millions. That's possible.
But it's just as possible that a sizable portion of his fortune was also burnt through by him just buying bullshit and frivolities. Now, at close to 50 years old, he has to fight.